Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Try It Tuesday and we're going to try a new way of doing a background. We're going to use the picture that we finished yesterday. I have placed a photocopy of the picture over top of the area that I've colored that I don't want this to affect. So all of the areas that aren't covered by this one here will be affected. So what we have here, what you're going to need, first of all, is a piece of tinfoil. I'm going to move this over here. We need this piece here so that we can see the size that we need. So I'm just going to trim this up to the size that we need. You can usually just tear it off like so. You can use the template that you have. Just make a template of the size that you want and then just tear it along that template. I like starting it with the scissors first because otherwise you get a mess. So I'm just going to start it with the scissors. I hope you all have had a great night. I know that it is the start of a new week. Not too concerned about making too much of a mess up at the top because that area isn't really going to be affecting the page that we're going to be doing this on. All right, so we've got our template. Now let's just make sure our template is going to cover the area we want it to cover and adjust it as we need. And that should do just fine. Let's just turn it this way just to make sure. Yeah. All right, now we are going to move this over here and move it out of the way. Now, which side do we need that on? We need that on this side. Yes. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try not to tear it. I just ran my watch over it and gave it a boo-boo. All right, now we're going to take some double-sided tape and we're going to just pin it onto our board here. Now you don't need to do this. I do this so that it doesn't move off of where I want it to be when I use the paper. And then you're going to want some water-based markers. So whether it's just a water-soluble marker, so anything of the children's marker type stuff works just fine. And I've got some here that are washable scented markers from my wonderful little unicorn. I love this thing. It's just so fun. It's just a little kid's pack of pens and crayons. But I just love the little package. It's just so cute. All right, so now that I've been a big kid, we're going to start to color on the tin foil. You will also need a bottle of water, just so you know. So we're going to color on the tin foil. So we're going to do a rainbow right on the tin foil. Just get a good amount there. Make sure that there's not too many gaps. So there's our red. Move you this way and tip you that way. And then we're going to use yellow. And we're going to let this dry on the tin foil. So we're not too concerned about it drying. Actually, I should have used orange, but that's okay. And these are scented, so it's even more fun. I should have used orange for that part, but we'll use orange now. So yellow and red make orange, and it should have been orange before yellow, but oh well, not really concerned about it. And I'm just going to go over and over until I've got a good saturation of the color. And if it dries blotchy, you can go over it again and add more color if you want to. Oh, I don't know when my TV just decided to do that. Hopefully you guys don't hear the TV. It just suddenly unmuted itself. I don't know why it does that sometimes. And then we have green. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to just color this in, let it dry, and then we're going to wet it down again with a couple of spritzes of water. And then we're going to use it for our background. So basically we're putting a lovely rainbow directly on our page without coloring it on our page. The reason why I want to do it this way is because sometimes when using water-based markers especially, water-based markers especially, I find that I get some weird lines that I don't like. So I'm hoping that I can do it this way and make it look like a watercolor painting of a rainbow. That's what I'm hoping anyway. All right, now for some blue. Okay, let's put our red over here. I'm having an issue there, so I'll probably have to tape that part down. Let's tape that down before I go any further, because it's going to bug me if I don't. Basically, I just taped it down onto the board so that it won't lift up anymore. So a friend of mine sent me a video of somebody doing this and said, you should try this. And that is why we're trying this. Hopefully it doesn't ruin my page. I'm still trying to decide if I should split the page and cut the part off for the house and make sure that we're not going to damage the girl. And the other part of me says, no, just cover her up. She'll be fine. So I'm still fighting with that. So we'll just color this in, and then we'll make that decision. Right. Actually, I want that to be a little thicker there. And then we're going to start over again with the red. Now I'm not too concerned about the center area here because it's not going to really show on our page. The area that's going to show the most on our page is up here, but I still want to get it fairly even all the way down, just so that the page areas that are going to be affected are affected properly. And then our orange. This time I'm going to go the right way and use the orange. Now, one of the things I'm seeing here is in some areas, I'm not sure if it's areas that I touched or areas that are just different in the foil, but some areas are not picking up the color the same way as other areas, which is interesting. Now yellow. Like I said, I just want it to have a rainbowy background because it is a fairy house, and sometimes fairy houses are found at the end of rainbows. What's better to have under a fairy house than a rainbow? And then our green. And then our blue. And then some purple. Okay. Now we're going to let that dry. And we're going to go through and just repair a couple of places up here so that it's a little bit more smooth. And then the same with the orange up there as well. And like I said, these are just children's markers, water soluble, water washable, whatever markers. So they're not going to, it's another area I'm going to have to tape down. They're not going to have a staining effect on your hands or anything like that. So if you're worried about that, don't worry about that. You do want to put it on a solid surface so that when you do spray the water that you don't get water everywhere that you don't want it to be. So as soon as that's dried up a little bit, we will spray it. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to attach this picture, this part of the page, on top of the page that we don't want to affect. So I'm just going to take some double-sided tape here and put it on the bottom and the top of this picture. So basically I've got another copy because I used it to create the template for the other side so that I would be able to cover the other side without any issues. Okay. Now I might want to put some, it'll be fine. I'm hoping it'll be fine. Maybe I'll put some on there too, just in case. I'm just going to tape down this side here as well. And take my fiddly scissors here and trim that off. Just so that it doesn't affect anything. Alright, so now we have this side here covered up with some double-sided tape. We've got the part that we colored covered up with some double-sided tape. Now this is fairly dry now. Now we're going to take our spritz bottle and we're just going to spritz like so. And then we're going to take our picture, we'll move these out of the way, and we're going to place our picture gently on there and rub it around. And then pick it up like so. Alright, glad I covered that up. Now we're going to move this out of the way. Lift up the tape that was holding down the middle. Alright, so this is what we have so far. I'm going to let that dry a bit. And then we're going to take off this part. Very gently. Take off that part. And there we have our background. I'm going to take off this part here. And we have a background. Don't worry about this part down here. I'll trim it up or something. But there we have it. A wonderful background of color. Now, if you wanted to, you could easily go through and add those colors in between the areas. So, for example, the purple area here, we can try. Let's see if we can add it. No, it's going to be different. But it gives us that look that I wanted. So there we have our background. Let it dry, iron it out, take your picture. and it should be fine. We have our rainbow sitting over top of our little fairy house. All right, guys, so that is how to do a rainbow background with a bit of tinfoil, some water-based or water-soluble, washable, whatever you want to call them, water-washable markers, a bit of water, and a little bit of time. You can do this on a plain piece of paper. You can also do this on a a drawn piece of paper. So for example, if I wanted to, I could take one of these cute little pictures, draw the same thing with different splotches of color everywhere, and just completely cover the whole thing and then color over top of it, the same way you would with watercolor. It's not as much water as watercolor, it's just a couple of spritzes, so it's not going to wrinkle the page as much. Oh, I've got a piece of tape stuck there. Hold on. It's not going to wrinkle the page as much as if you were going to use a line of watercolor. And we've got tape here too. The tape didn't peel off with the picture, which is fine. I just got to be really careful while peeling it up so that I don't take off too much color. Let's see, did the other... Yeah, there we go. So there we have it, one watercolored background of a adorable little rainbow. Now if I want to clean that up or add a little bit more to it, I can definitely do so. I kind of like the way it looks as it is. It looks very watercolory. I could have trimmed it up here and had the watercolor come right up underneath, but I didn't want it up under the dirt there. So that is why I did it that way. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope that this has been educational, if not entertaining. We have completed a watercolor background for our little fairy house. Thank you all very much for watching. Of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.